Brad, we know that Mario Cristobal built his resume, but more so built his skill level in regards to recruiting. It's there's a lot of facets to it that you got to be able to sell. You got to be able to sell your vision. You've got to be able to build a relationship and connect with the young men. You've got to be able to just sheer flat out organize your staff and target the right people, not waste your time in certain uh, instances, areas of the country. And really, it's just a multifaceted effort. He obviously learned quite a bit at Alabama. He executed that as well at Oregon in bringing in some top of the line Pac-12 recruiting classes. Do you see, not just with the evidence, but in the approach, a difference between Manny Diaz classes weren't awful by any stretch, but the upgrade in the approach and in the results?
Oh, absolutely, Mark. I mean, you're seeing it, very quickly here. As far as the type of players that we already currently have on the team and what we're adding, I think Mario Cristobal and the staff that he put together. I mean, this is going to be a class that you're going to see this year and the next 2 or 3 years potentially get us into playoff contention. And with the current guys that we have on the roster, a lot of the starter players or guys that we're trying to put a lot of potential in this year, these guys are still, very young, sophomores, redshirt sophomores. So they still have a lot of more time on this team. And when you're able to build that camaraderie and what Mario Cristobal has put together as far as a staff, I think, being in the ACC right now and seeing, the picture of where we could possibly be, I think it's a very, very eye-opening experience to where we can potentially take over the ACC this year if we do all the things right. But again, it's going to come down to winning football games consistently, and we got to see what this staff puts together. But I can tell you, the staff has put together a pretty good official visit for this upcoming weekend starting tomorrow, Mark. There's a few names I want to go over. You got Jaden Wayne, defensive end from Washington. This is a big time, recruit. He's got Alabama, Georgia, Oregon, and Miami, all going after him right now. He's 6'5", 245 pounds. He's got that Cyrus Moss type frame, exactly what Miami's going after. Everyone wants to get that clone of Greg Russo, and I think you're starting to see the type of players that we're going after in the defensive end position, specifically at the pass rusher, at what frame and what size we're looking for and what they do and bring to the table. And Jaden Wayne fits that very well. So he's going to be a big-time name to look after for. Another one's going to be the JUCO wide receiver, Colby Young from Scranton. He's 6'4", 220 pounds. When you look at the frame and what he brings to the table, Mark, like I just mentioned, he's a JUCO, so this is a guy who's got to make a decision very soon. He recently visited Pittsburgh a couple weeks ago. He's visiting Miami this weekend. And when you look at his film, Mark, what he brings to the table, he's specifically used to for that jump ball, that fade route deep in the end zone. He's good at locating the ball in the air, getting those hands at the highest point and bringing that ball down. He really gives me that Darrell Langham type of ability when it comes to making big-time plays, in the red zone or needing that big-time catch. And Colby Young's going to have to come in here right away and kind of prove that he belongs here because we do need another receiver to make it that impact. So he's one more guy. And then Emory Williams, of course. You want to talk about the quarterback position, Mark. It's been very interesting for the quarterback recruiting for Miami. The last few years, we've been able to land some of the best recruits as far as the quarterback position. We're in a very good shape when you look at that quarterback room, when you got the three guys already in the table. But then when you look at the three prospects that we're looking at right now, and Dante Moore, Jaden Rashada, and Emory Williams. Emory Williams recently had a private workout at Miami. Everything's been going great. We were one of the first teams to go after Emory Williams. So again, talking about relationships, this is a young man that's been wanting to commit to Miami for a very long time. And I think Miami has kind of played it cool right now because, like I mentioned, you got two big-time names in Dante Moore and Jaden Rashada. As we know recently, the Cali native just pushed back his commitment date after visiting Florida, which wasn't a good sign for the Gators. And he has one official visit left, Mark, and it could potentially be the University of Miami as that last visit. He did push back that commitment date to June 26th. So there is a decision to be made shortly. And this weekend is very going to be interesting to me because I think a lot of people have asked, Do we possibly bring in 2 quarterbacks this cycle? And this weekend, if Emory Williams, decides to get that green light and commit to the University of Miami, that's going to be, a very big thing for a young man like Jaden Rashada, because he does have other offers on the table like Ole Miss and Texas A&M, that he could potentially go to as well.
All right, E-Dub, Brad caught your question there. So there's a possibility of 2 quarterbacks in the 2023 class.